It's all coming together. Dashboard. iPod. Wow. Timers. It's Tuesday. Live at the Tuesdays. All right. It's time. It's time. Hi, Con. Hello. I need to cut my hair. Can you see this? Can you see this? I need to cut my hair. Okay. And I also need this to be better. It's not... I don't have everything, but I have something to introduce to you guys. This here is... This here is my quokka. You look like you're gonna sing Wonderwall. And maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. That's... Director 7, that's gonna get you banned. Don't say that. They don't understand yet. I haven't explained everything yet. Don't ban him, please. Stop. What? Can you watch your language too, please? This is gonna be so awkward. Hi. Thank you, Zilly, as well. Loki and Zilly, thank you for 66. Execute order 66. And, 38 months. Significant other reveal? No. Not quite. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a bad word. It's kind of not safe for Mish. Let me explain. Let me explain, director. For now, just let me explain. Guys, this is Arlo. This is Arlo. Director 7 is Arlo. I met him in real life. So the pictures you saw of him in in the chat, that's him. That's Arlo. I found him. He's real. And I also found a quokka. Boring stream if no. I'm pretty sure it's still an exciting stream, even if I don't have a significant other. Yeah, write it down. Write it down. That's Arlo. Yep. Arlo, actually, we're gonna go through pictures together, guys. How cool is that? Yay! Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. Go to 2025. Post phone new phone. And then I need a folder. Okay. So we're gonna Debo! Hi! Hi. Good to see you. Thank you for the cheesecake. Extra cake? Less cheese? Yeah, okay. Oh dear, guys. 8'5". Oh, I'm not. No. Hi, Loki. What are you watching? I don't know. I'm not 8'3". And Arlo is not going to confirm anything. I'm not that tall. You're watching a sad video? But why? When you can watch Mish stream and Mish has cute quokka. But you want to finish, then pause and finish later. Haha. A Mishimentary, I actually have some of those already. We can watch them anytime. Taller than 8'5" now? I'm not. I'm 5'10". I just make a Monarch documentary alongside Mothra. Has removed everyone's bed. What? What? Why would you remove our beds? To wash them? 10 for 5. No. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, alright. I'll save all the good stuff for after that, I guess. Joke's on you, never had a bed. I knew it. I knew it. You sleep outside on a pile of leaves. Oh no, you sleep in a tree. I forgot. How are you 8'5", but your kick reach is 20? What? I never said I was homeless. Sometimes people just sleep in trees, okay? For fun. Anyway, guys, I found a quokka. I went to Australia. Guys, I went to Australia. How cool. Yay. There's a hype train. Yay. What else can I yay? I don't know. Guys. Yeah, Aussie land. Yeah, I was down under. Yeah, I went to Japan. That was last year. Did you try poutine? Wrong country. Wrong country. They do that in Canada. Oh my goodness. When did you go to Australia? A couple weeks ago? Did you hold a koala? No, but I pet one. I pet a koala. Were the women glowing? Did the men plunder? Men plundered hearts and women glowed. So yes. Did you fly or drive? I swam. Actually, that's a lie. I swam part of the way and then I flapped my arms and flew the rest of the way. So, yeah. Write it down. Yeah. So, man, cute chat, you're really you're full of beans right now. You're full of beans. If you use Blink, oh, okay. Well, I don't have that ability, so Mothra documentary footage. What's with the trying to blink in water? I don't understand what's going on. The hard way. So many beans. Yeah, you're full of them. Everyone's full of beans. Yeah, the thing with the thing with koalas is that they need to sleep a lot. And so if they are awake and like holding on to so that you could hold on to them, you're disrupting their sleep schedule. Not saying that you're at fault for this at all, but there's a lot of places that just kind of hurt koalas by letting people hold them. And also koalas don't want to be held unless they are stressed. So, koala, my spirit animal, actively correct. I'm also glad I didn't get eaten by a drop bear. There was this cute book. Okay, so I went to this shop in Manly, which is a whole story, but there's an city north of the Sydney Harbor. So Sydney, and then there's the water. And then you go to the top of it, and then there's more Sydney. But there's an area called Manly, and it's Manly everything. There's Manly gelato, Manly hairdressers, Manly tobaccoist, which is where they call the smoke shop. Manly everything. It's Manly Beach, Manly. And I went into a Manly gift shop and saw a book about the drop bear. It was like a children's book. It's like, beware drop bear, here he comes. He's always scary, stuff like that. It's really cute. Yeah, so I went to Sydney. I went to Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. And I also went to Auckland and Hamilton in the North Island of New Zealand. So there's a womanly in Surfer's Paradise, I bet. Yeah, so they probably don't do that much anymore because they've learned a little bit more about the animals. And so it's like my mom and my sister both were like, I want to hold a koala. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't want to hold a koala. We're not going to hold a koala. And in fact, the only way we could actually pet the koala was the one that was asleep. Like the one that was awake, we weren't allowed to touch because they're vicious. And then back in 1988, yeah. And then the one that was asleep, they're like, you can only touch it like right here, and it's like on its butt, and so you're like, I touched the koala's bum, yay. It was really soft. But you know what, I got to pet kangaroos, and my mom was like, I think they're drugged, and I'm like, Mom, I think they're tired. I think the koalas are tired of people. Like, imagine every day there's just constantly people everywhere all the time. You're just like, oh, here they come to feed me again. Like, the kangaroos just kind of lay like this on the ground. And they just do this. And it's like the whole time you're like, hello? Can I approach you? And they're like, I think Mr. Arlo here, Director 7, he was the one who was like, they're kind of like the deer that we have here. Except the deer, like, I can at least tell what they're thinking when, like, are they chewing their cud or they're not? Like, I don't know if kangaroo chew cud. That would be weird if they did, because they're marsupials and I don't know how they work. So, in the words of Nemo's friend, he touched the butt. That's exactly what I was like, hey, look, I touched the butt. It was really funny. The same wavelength? Okay, that's fair. It was just so funny because my mom was like, do you think they drug them so that they're not so, like, violent and whatnot? And I'm like, the koalas are the violent ones, Mom. The koalas are. They're the drop bears. They drop out of the trees because they fall asleep, and then they're really nasty to the, anyway. But kangaroo is cool. Just keep saying things confirming koala is my spirit animal. What happened to the other 6 directors? Asking the real questions. I should have asked. I refuse to believe that. Well, Call Strike, you also refuse to believe a lot of stuff, so here we go. So this year I've done a lot of traveling. As you guys know, I've done so much traveling this year. My car broke down several times. And I've just had a lot. There's been a lot going on. But I'd love to take you through at least our trip that we had. Oh my gosh, there's so many photos. This is great. So after returning home from visiting Muffins, as she was trying on wedding dresses and all that stuff, is a good thing traveling is free? It's not free. Get a Honda? I do. Call Strike, you never pay attention. There used to be 10 directors, but director 7, 8, 9. Oh, get a Mitsubishi Lancer invincible car. Yeah, after you've torn yours apart. I have a Honda. Thanks, Loki. I'm so glad that you're here because he'll actually read your messages. He won't listen to me. Can you just tell him all the things? It remains. How did a Honda break down? A squirrel or rabbit chewed through the cables. And then you know, me, and then I tried to me, and it's like bing, 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 bing. I'm okay. And then, and then. Uh-oh. Beep, 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 beep. Ah! And then I had to fly away. Primal instincts. That was my interpretive storytelling dance um of what happened. I had to take it to the shop. Interpretive stimming. Look out, I'm stimming. I'm stimming, guys. I'm stimming. It's a great stim. It's a great stim. I had to take it in the shop 3 times. Three times. Content creator went into emote mode. Chat going to emote mode? No. Streamer emote mode. Streamer emote mode. I wire chew once, take to shop, they fix. Wire chew second time, take to shop, angry, they fix for free. Wire break because second fix not fix, take to shop, fix for real this time, and I've been back ever since. Take it to a different shop, fix for free. Fix for free. Take to new shop, have to pay again. Already paid $500. Fix for free. No more fix. No more pay for fix, please. Just, yeah. Also, isn't that the great... I'm stimming. I am stimming. Take to new shop next time? Possibly take to new shop next time. Yes, because warranty worn out, not useful anymore. Only thing useful at shop is getting original parts. No need for original parts, Honda. Get your wires coated in peppermint oil. They wrapped it in rodent tape and I have mothballs all over my car. Misha, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. The whole car in motor oil. I try to get in it. Help. Write it down. Yeah, I'm not doing so great. You know what? Okay, so here's the cool stuff. Okay. Anti-scroll balls. Squirrels actually also hate mothballs. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of you guys know that my dad had brain surgery, and he has been recovering so well since that, right? A lot of you guys know that my mom's been dealing with my grandmother's estate, and we had some showings on the house while we were gone. No leads yet. Still praying for that, but okay, there's a lot to be grateful for, okay? And then there's a lot of other stuff. There's rogue meeps everywhere. Look out. Not you too. It's okay. In the end of it all, there's just so much. Bam, there we go. There's just so much good in the midst of it all. That was rough. That was hard to do. And that was hard to pack for a 3-week trip. And it was hard to make sure that the house was going to be in a decent state when I got home. I did a ton of laundry. I remade my bed. I stuff that usually takes a lot of effort to do. I managed to do whilst working my 3 jobs and doing all this other stuff and packing and then making sure I have finances ready and that I have things paid for ahead of time so I don't have to worry about them when the month turns over, stuff. And I got all this stuff done and I'm very proud of myself for having done this stuff and I did good stuff. I did a really good job. I did good, guys. Good job, Mish. I did it. And then, oh gosh, no, Steph isn't living here anymore. Steph moved out 2 years ago, which is rough. But it also has allowed me then to make that guest room into a proper room. It has laundry, not laundry. It has furniture in it. It's my game room now. I have all my board games and a nice little game table and stuff like that. So, yeah. It was a while ago, so don't worry about it. Let Arlo stay in the game room. You can just live downstairs. But where will I put Mike? So I'm the best Mish. I'm doing great. There's no attic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, words are hard. um, there's a lot to be grateful for, and there's a lot of good stuff. and and even today, today I went back to work. I went to Taekwondo. I learned a whole bunch of stuff because I've been gone for 2 weeks from classes, and they were like, okay, you ready for your flow? And I'm like, the what? And they're like, well, it's simple. You just block and then attack, and then 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 block. And that's the flow. And people are like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, teach me your ways. It'll just take practice and time, I guess. But like, but what if you attack then block? Then you're going first. And that's allowed, I guess. But I only did that once, and I'm not very good at it. Block and then attack. And then block. Because it's back and forth. Don't block, and then attack. And don't attack, and then block. Good. I'm so glad you guys are taking notes. What would I do? What would I do if you guys weren't taking notes? So we did all of that, and that was really good. And I also helped the classes earlier because that's kind of my job. And I'm still writing down my hours because they don't have my time card fingerprint thing in, because I'm supposed to be able to just clock in by like beep and then like fingerprint and then hit in, right? So we haven't sorted that out yet. You're learning. Write it down. Always write it down. So that was good. So that was today. And I just I came home and I'm like, I'm so grateful that I have a shower that has hot water. And I have a car that's working right now. Guys, I have a car that's working right now. Selling fingerprints. No, wait, no. Oh, Loki, you broke the noted combo. The Honda is alive. Yeah. Just walk up to it, make it beep. Like, I've clocked in, and then I never get paid. My gosh. Let's see, what else did I have to learn today? Not a whole lot, but it was good. So, where does the car work? On the roads mostly. Thankfully. Case in point. Laco Moosh hate learning. What? Anyway, I'm gonna share some pictures with you guys. This is gonna be great. We're gonna share pictures. I'm gonna tell stories. How cool is this? Aren't you guys so excited? Aren't you so excited? I'm excited. I'm so, here we go. You ready? Y'all not ready for this. We're locking in. We're using the other screen. Hey, and you can still see me. So hi. So this is the first picture I took for the whole trip. I was so busy doing everything. But when I finally got to Seattle, we hung out with Muffins. This is Muffins, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Pictures. I'm so excited I got sleepy. Oh, well, good night then. Anti-rodent cars and hot water. Thank you. Thank you, Call. I appreciate you. Sometimes. I'm kidding. All the time. Okay. Oh, no. Please understand. I know you guys are going to go to bed because it's like 11 p.m. But I will now share this and then you guys can watch the stream later. And then tease me about it later. Anyway, first picture. I'm like, hey, there's no way all this stuff will fit in Muffin's car because the back seat has one suitcase, mom's suitcase. And I was like, mine's not going to fit. And she was like, take a picture of this because this is ridiculous. Why would you have this over your lap like this when there's an obvious... Oh, that was me hyped. There's an obvious solution. I'll just put it there. And I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. Then this is me at the airport. There's a cool horse thing. I didn't take a whole lot of pictures, But apparently in the Seattle airport, there's a horse sculpture made out of driftwood. Here's a pretty plain picture. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And also, I don't want any comments about how bad my camera is. I didn't have any space for my normal camera, so all I have is my phone camera. So y'all can just calm down. Sibling barricade classic road trip. It was just to the airport, and then we took this plane, and that's Mount Rushmore. Not Mount Rushmore. Not Mount Rushmore. Sorry. That's Rainier. That's Mount Rainier. No, I'm sorry. My brain was like, that's Mount Rushmore. No, it's not. It's what I wish Mount Rushmore looked like. Anyway, I know you guys are too young to remember when it exploded, but we learned about it in school because it was like a really important world event back when I was a kid. And then things like 9/11 happened, and this kind of stuff was like, oh, okay, whatever. So that's like it exploded. It's a volcano, by the way. It's a okay. Bye. Okay, bye. Get out of here. Shoo. He doesn't care about watching any of my photos. Amazing. I'm kidding. It was a joke. Okay, so it exploded like this, and then all of the sludge fell that way. Anyway, glorious picture of look. Isn't that cool? Ah. Later, skaters. Oh yeah, no, you gotta sleep. Rest up. We'll see you around. I'll tell our story later. I took pictures of the glass a lot. It was really glowy because my jacket was orange. The sun was setting, and that was cool. And then it was dark, and we got into LAX, and this is my mom and my sister and all of us walking through. I'm trying to get photos. Okay, I'm trying to get photos. Yeah, mountain pics are cool. Trying to get photos of us just to like capture the vibes. We had to walk underneath a ton of the airport because it was undergoing construction. Thanks, LAX. For Mountain Dew. Now get ready for Mountain Sludge, where you too could get the taste of volcanic ash. Yay! I found this outfit, and I think it's gonna be mine. It's my outfit. The problem is it belonged to the International Airlines of 1930 to 1982, so they don't make it anymore. But look at those tights, man. It's almost Argyle. I love the pattern. And then the pink with the jacket. Hello? Anyway. And then there's Muffins. And look at who she found. Remind you of someone? That's because it's the same one. That's a Smoko branded. You remember the flight attendant fit check? Yeah, so those of you who were in the Discord and watching this happen in real time, you'll recognize a lot of these photos. I shared practically everything. So, yeah, so check that out. Look at it. Look at this Astra Mochi. And it's, yeah, so Smoko combined with some other thing. I took a picture of this for some reason. I thought it was cool. I was tired. That's our plane. This was the food I had for breakfast. I did not take a lot of pictures on the plane because why? First of all, why? Second of all, I'm just busy sleeping on a plane. I'm not going to take a lot of photos, but that's the vegetarian breakfast I had because it was either that or like a really, really heavy breakfast. And you know me, I have to have girl breakfast. So they gave me, I think, a little bit of milk for my tea or something. I don't know what that was. Did I just ask for milk? I don't understand. Anyway, I don't remember. And then here's me. We're finally here in Sydney. We made it, guys. We've made it. Yay! Isn't it cool? We made it. Now, quickly, hurry up and get back on a bus. What am I doing? I don't know. Hurry up and get. Oh, that's right. Get on the bus to the other part of the plane, the other part of the airport, so that we can go on a non-international flight. So we came to the non-international side to take a plane directly out of Sydney and into Brisbane. And I saw Star Wars, and I wanted to take a picture of these for Django. 'Cause look, they're amazing. And then Mom and Muffins saw chocolate. I had one of these and one of these. And this had passion fruit in it, and this had like raspberry or something. It was really delicious. So they were picking out chocolates. Also, this was a donation bucket that had really cool stuff in there, because it was like all these different cool, like, there's euros, there's Australian dollars, there's American dollars, there's Singaporean dollars, Indonesian, right? Like, I mean, how cool is this? There's a penny. Look, they've got the shield pennies. They got a lot of American currency in here, which kind of sucks, because, like, what is that? Freaking quarters. But then there's this, there's whatever that is. There's one of these. That's probably Japanese. There's one of those, I think is also Japanese. There's this, which is British. This is Japanese. This is a 100 yen coin that's very, very recognizable. That's a 5 yen coin here. This, Tambala. How cool is that? You know, so I just took a picture because I was like, I want to collect coins, but I can't steal them out of the donation bucket. Help. It's fine. You must eat now. Catch up on story later. Yeah, I mean, all of this is pretty much what people have seen anyway. Like, what is this? I don't know. Phone resolution not good enough, but... Oh, and then there's... 5 cents. Is that Canadian? Or is that Australian? I don't know. I never touched the money in Australia. I feel like I wasn't even there. I didn't even touch the money. Oh, that's a lie. Arlo shared some of his money with me so I could experience it. And then more pictures of me and my family. My hair was actually gorgeous that day. And then, yeah, the commentary does make it. But that's why I'm doing the commentary now, so that I can get it out of my system. Because otherwise, if it takes too long, I'll forget. So I need to make it happen. My hair was actually nice on this first day of travel, because I'd kind of been in humidity a little bit, and it hadn't completely ruined. It was great. And then my mom got us these cute little bracelets that say Jesus loves you. And we all got different colors because it's their favorite colors. And so they were the trip bracelets. I took a picture of this because I was like, time to destination, 0 minutes. Distance to destination, almost 500 miles. So I'm like, how are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? Somebody tell me, please. Please, how are we going to get there? Like, so it was this, cool. Here we go. And welcome to Brisbane from the sky. We eventually took the city cat through on the bridge. My mom dipping her tea, my first outfit, check, fit check. She's wearing my jacket because she's allergic to the sun. I also am allergic to the sun. It was a very nice day. It was a little too warm. I took a picture of this because it was so cool. It's not my colors. I don't look good in this green at all, but it's such a pretty dress. And the vertical lines make people look taller. And then look at look. But the dress was like, $5,000. So, and then look at this. This is cool. So this isn't like a Brisbane Mall thing. And this, what? Cool. Like a chandelier thing. And then Under Armour. And then I took a picture of Muffins because she's so cool. And there was another Lego store. They're everywhere. And then we went into T2. And I was like, look at how cool this is. And Darjeeling and Assam are some of my favorite teas. So there. and we got Anzac biscuits. Anzac biscuits, they're so yummy. The way you describe them, not yummy. The way they taste, yummy. Load into an airplane, and you're still at the game. The thing says 12 hours for a flight to Arizona. Really? I didn't know that's what happens in the airplane Wi-Fi, but I guess. Oh, me in the reflection of glass, which was really cool because it was green and it made my really, really orange shirt look oranger in a way. And some blurry pictures of the trees. And then I liked Muffins because she had like her eyelashes were catching the light, and I was like, look at how pretty that is. And so I took a picture for her fiance. And then the sunset, and then a car, and then there's alligators or crocodiles or something in that, I just know. Because there we are in Australia. How cool is that? And then we go to this area called Pelican Park, and they had a little place where you could just drive into the water. I don't think the point was to drive into the water, but I guess you could if you wanted to. It says boat ramp, but I don't know what that means. And then ramp may be slippery, but I think this guy's just having fun. I think he's just having fun. So that's how that worked. And then it said it was gross, but whatever. Pretty cinematic area, to be honest. And then I didn't even notice this, but that's a bird, and there's actually a lot of them everywhere. And this is the area we sit. Look at how windblown this tree is. I didn't even notice it, but like, I just love how cinematic everything looked. It was so pretty. There were corvids hanging out, and they're my favorite because I speak Crow, but I didn't speak their dialect, which was kind of sad to me because I wanted to say hi, and I'd be like, ah, to say hi, and they'd be like, ah, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know. I don't speak that, but I said hi, and it was really pretty and cool. And you remember that bird that was sitting on the pole? Yeah, it's a freaking pelican. They call it Pelican Park for a reason. And then it's a grenade. They're very much not happy, and they're little nuts. It's not a fruit, I think, from what I have been told. I'm like, what is it? Someone tell me, what is the thing? What is it? That's the tree it looks like. How cool is that? But it's a mangrove. It's a mangrove tree. That's a mangrove tree. And then those are mangrove nuts. What are they? Hold on. Mangrove tree nuts. Cool. Mangrove. Oh, type of plant and an ecosystem. Okay. Cool. There's so many. Oh no. Oh, look at those guys. That's not great. Okay. Well, there's lots of birds and stuff. Okay, well, great. Anyway, so it's one of those things. I still don't understand how it works. And then we stayed until the sunset, and it was cool. Pelican cases were made. Loki, you backed the boat on the trailer down the ramp? Yeah, I still think it's for driving into the water when it freezes over. It's gotta be, because that's how they have it in Canada land. Right? Oh, and here's a Wipeout course. But it's not Wipeout. It's some kind of like inflatable land, inflatable world, or something like that. But it's basically a Wipeout course for fun. It's those inflatable playgrounds that are like insufferable, but now you could be even more uncomfortable because you're in a bathing suit and uncomfortable, and also wet and uncomfortable. Yeah, it looks like a ton of fun. 10 out of 10 would do. And then I'm here. Oh yeah. So that was that first night, and it was awesome. And then I woke up the next morning to see a kookaburra on the fence. It was so cool. And then our friend made us breakfast, and it was delicious. And then we got dressed, and I put a hat on, and then we went out on the city ferry, or what they call City Cat, because it's a catamaran. And we went zipping down on this cat, and it was super cool. I took lots of photos with my family until they finally smiled. This one was named Tugalawa 2. It's the second one. It's very important to know. The spit it out, Mish. The upholstery was really coolly designed. And then wool stores. This is where Woolworths came from. Not. But they had a bunch of like wool, which would be a great export. And so then they had all the stores right there on the shore in the river. And remember the picture of the river from the plane? This is the river we're on now. And look at the pretty trees. Those are called jacaranda. And then there's a red flag on the boat. Bottled water accepted. You can't smoke or vape, eat or drink, and no loudspeakers, but bottled water is okay. Love that for us. More jacaranda. It got to the point where Muffins and I would smack each other every time we saw a jacaranda and say, jacaranda. And look at this. This looks like straight out of a video game. Like, what is this? How is this so quintessentially beautiful? Like, since when? Since when? Like, hey, look, it's a Queenslander right there. Like, there's just too much, like, beauty in the architecture, and I'm not used to that being an American. Jacaranda. More jacaranda. Buildings. Look at how cool. Look at that one's green and matrixy. That one has stuff that juts out. That one's got like, and then these go like, and this one, oh, that's a bridge. But then like, and then that's a crane. And then this, and then look at that architectural coolness. And then like, I'm not an architecture nerd, but I could be. And that's a kitty cat. Because they had the city cats and then the kitty cats are the small ones. And then just like the general splendor, jacaranda, and the bridge, and then sudden cliff with beautiful buildings on top. What the flip? How cool is that? Jacaranda on top of cliff with beautiful buildings, and then going underneath the bridge. And this is what Muffins and Mom and I would affectionately call the Minecraft building from then on out in the entire trip. That building right there looks like it's Minecraft. Hi, welcome to the Minecraft building. Where we are, that's just Minecraft. What is that? Minecraft. That's not a real building. These are real buildings right here. That's understandably human made in the real world. That's a Minecraft building. What is it? And then we get closer. We have to go by Felons Brewing. Like, they just had to be on point there. Okay, we went under the bridge. The bridge was cool. Went past a really cool building that was, like, old and stuff. Went past a building which had that stuff. And I was like, I have to take a picture. Went past this because that said Darwin. And I thought that was cool because they say Darwin. And then they don't. And then more cranes. And then my mom being really cool and wistful. And then we get to the Brisbane, I don't know what they call it in Brisbane, but it's a wheel in Brisbane. And then that is a new casino apparently, but they got little planters on the outside. This building's very, very large, and there's actually a sightseeing deck and like outdoor raves happening out. It's cool. We went up there later, so more pictures later. There's the thing. More buildings. Oh, the city dog, because Bingo, what's the name of the Bluey? Bluey is based in Australia. How cool is that? And then a second one just for the bridge. How cool is that? And then train. I was like, why did I take this picture? Because of train. More train. Jacaranda. Not jacaranda, but pretty flowers and a very cute house. Where did they get this architecture from? Huh? Where does it come from? I don't know. More jacaranda. Mia muffins. This was fun. That was just nearby. And then I took this photo and these people don't even know. She looks so mad. But look at this. Look at how insane that is. And those are not jacaranda, but they're something pretty. And then this is muffins. And then our friend who showed us around, her name is Terry. And she's super cute. And they took photos underneath the not jacaranda. I took photo underneath it. I look really happy here. It's because I am. It's very hot. Then I finally saw my first bin chicken. This is an ibis. It's a kind of bird that I would see normally in a zoo here. These things roam wild in Australia. They just kind of are there pretty much constantly and kind of in places where you would expect a scavenger bird to be. In this particular eating area, these guys were just everywhere. And I was like, oh, hi. Hey, I have fish and chips and a Fanta because it's my rule to have Fanta everywhere except for America. And then we had New Zealand natural premium ice cream and it was really delicious. And I finally saw my first one of these, which he kind of looked at me. And then he looked at me again. And I noticed he was just really checking me out. And then I saw this, which was really cool because I didn't know Daejeon and Brisbane had an agreement, sister city agreement. But apparently Daejeon and Brisbane have a sister agreement. And I got to see the plaque commemorating that. How cool is that? Then there was not really a sister city necessarily, but there was a matsuri that they held, and so it's really cool to see kanji and hiragana etched into stone because that's not a very stone friendly language, but they managed it. This is me with my ice cream, mostly gone. This is a Nepalese shrine, which was really pretty. Association to Preserve Asian Culture. Super, super cool. And, oh, the Peace Pagoda from the Expo in '88. How cool. And that was cracking, so I didn't want to step inside for very long, so I didn't. And then that's the thing, the big wheel again. There it is. And then that's the bridge that's around the other side of the wheel. And that's my mom. And that's me. And that's me and my sister. And then that's the wheel again. And that's the bridge again. And then that's... I don't know the best way to put this photo, but that's the building behind the wheel, behind the bridge with the thing. So now you kind of all know where we're going. There's me and mom. Then I finally saw this. I was like, oh, yes. You know... we didn't go during the hottest time of year. We didn't go during the winter time. And we didn't go during spider season. But we decided to show up in Australia during swooping season. So, and that's just where the birds will just, because you're in the area. And it's like a known thing in Australia, even though we have some of the same birds here. They're just kind of different. Like, we have magpies. They're total jerks here, but they don't like that. They just poop on your car. And you get too close to their nests and they just take the poop and they put it on your driver's side of your vehicle because they know that's where you get in and out of the car and they're trying to get you away by annoying you. They're very smart. They don't just attack you just because you're in the area. They just try to manipulate your mind into going away. So that was, and then we have crows, but as I discussed earlier, they sound different there. So, anyway, apparently the birds will just swoop And okay, I never saw it happen, but apparently that was a thing that happens. This is my face when I realized the time of year that we chose to travel to Australia. And then we got to the Brisbane sign, which was really cool. And this is Terry with her hat. She's so cute. And me with the sign, me with the sign, me with the sign, the bridge, and the casino. Again, the sign in city and bridge. Buildings. A cool Brisbane bridge part, and then like some of the history of it, and that, which was really cool. There it is. And I took a photo of me with that, and then I took a photo of this direction because you could see where I am at, and then the wheel, and then also Mom and Muffins and Terry all sitting down here because I wanted to go run up and see it, and they were too hot because apparently it was really hot that day. And then there's the river again, and then all this other stuff, and then I saw this, which was kind of cool. There's a senator who's an Aboriginal, and so he took a picture, or maybe he's not a senator anymore. But yeah, so that was on the bridge. We crossed the bridge to get to the other side. Usually that's how it goes. We got to the other side, then we went up to the top of the casino, and this is pictures from that. And then they had a little area where you could step on, and I took photos from that, and we took pictures of our, and there's me with the wheel again. And then Muffins and Terry standing on the glass. You could see there's the glass and people just standing on it. And there was one piece of glass that was missing and a thing that was like blocking it off. And I was like, that's not a good sign. So I didn't stay over there very long. And then there's the wheel again with the bridge that we crossed. And then that's the other way down the river, which is very dirty looking. And then this is the casino that we're on the top of now. But we were just kind of looking at it from a whole different angle. Aha, see? Very cool. There's the old casino, an old building. And they're kind of next to where we were, but not quite in the same area. Close enough. And then we saw whales, but they weren't real. And then we got another city cat, and this one was called Bakimba 2. It's also a number 2, so that's important. There's the Minecraft building. This time you can kind of see how more it looks. How is it that they made it, and then they made it normal building on top? I don't know, man. It's just not really fair. Then I saw this. This was cool. Sculpture. And then we found a jacaranda, took a photo at the jacaranda, and then Muffins stole a flower and wanted to keep it. And they were like, no one will let you take it through customs and security. And she was like, aw. But we took lots of photos with it, and that was cool. And then I fell asleep in the car, and Muffins took a photo of me. And that happened a lot. I also found this book while we were going shopping. It's called Breath, and it was really interesting. We finished a puzzle, and so I took a picture of me with the puzzle. We were very proud of it. My photo bomb for the next day. This is the day we went to the Australia Zoo. I was really excited. Look it. That's Steve Irwin with a wombat. Look at how cute wombats are. Look at how cute wombats are. Okay, this thing, adorable. What is it made of? Cuteness. Koalas are great. You know, okay. Oh, and echidna. Okay, whatever. Look at that. Oh, he's so cute. Anyway, we were excited. It was going to be a good day. I saw a rhino lizard, a rhino iguana. Then we took a little bus to the other end of the zoo so we could walk back through it. And then they had like a giraffe and zebras. And I was like, let's get to the animals that we've never seen before, okay? But I took a couple pictures. And that's just a picture of Muffins. And then there was a zookeeper with, it's not going to look like anything the more I zoom in, but that's a lemur. So Zabumafuma was over there and a zookeeper. And I was like, what am I in? Zoo Tycoon 3? What is this? They're going around doing little talks and putting a box down for the lemur to jump up on. I was like, I zoomed in too close to Planet Coaster and it turned into Planet Zoo. And now I'm watching an animal talk happen. It was so cool. That's a flower. That's a tiger. That's a tiger in grass. That's a tiger in green grass. And then they had this was cool. I love this quote from Steve Irwin. They posted this everywhere, and it's something that I had heard when I was a kid, and they kept posting everywhere, and it's like, well, yeah, because it makes so much sense. Humans want to save things that they love. Because, so if we teach people about stuff, then they actually like it, and then they love it, and then they want to save things. Anyway, so then it had like the cubs that were born at the zoo, and like, look at all the cubs they had born in the zoo. How cool is that? And then the tiger went on the log. Very cool tiger on the log. I took a picture of Felis catus because that's my friend Catus. That's him. And then I just took a picture of the whole thing. That was cool. There was an Asian elephant. This is the tiger exhibit, which was really cool. And then we have to pose like everything. There's a red panda. It was so cute sleeping. These are really, really rare tortoises, you know, for fun things. Also, there's an anti-poaching unit called Black Mambas, and it's all female. And they look so good. I wish I could look that good in army greens. And then my mom taking photos, so I took a photo of her taking photos. And then there was another lizard on a statue, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then we went to go see kangaroos and wallabies. And that's me with a kangaroo. And the little kangaroos in their resting area. You're not allowed to touch them if they're over there. This is me next to a kangaroo, touching a kangaroo, patting a kangaroo. Kangaroo does not care. Kangaroo is asleep. Kangaroo looks dead. Kangaroo looks, oh, he's alive. You know, like it was basically like that. This kangaroo was like, I don't know, hopping around. That's a quokka. That's an asleep quokka. And quokkas kind of look like this in lots of pictures where you see them, where they're like, and really cute and happy and all the time. This is what a quokka looks like when they're so done with everything you've ever brought to them. They're like, really, Tony, you're going to bring this up to me again? I thought we went over this. Bud. I'm not going to give you the money. And you just had to waltz in here and ask for it again. All right. But like, look at how cute his little face is still. Okay. And so he was just chilling. And then like, there's like, cute little, okay, this is how quokkas work. Look at them. Look at how cute they are. They get their moisture from the leaves and the grass that they eat. How cute is that? And then this is the other quokka sleeping under a little log. And I was like, can you believe it? There's a quokka. And I was like, wait a second, what's that? That, my friends, is a wallaby. And I have the videos of it falling down or jumping around somewhere. But that was my realization. As I was taking photos of this, I was like, hey, look. Oh, what's that? You see the realization on my face. Is great. And then muffins with the quokka. Muffins with the quokka with the wallaby. Wallabies look different than what I expected. And I think we have different wallabies here. And then the wallaby would just go around eating whatever he wanted. He's very cute. He's very arm hold size. Quokkas are hand hold size. He was stealing leaves and giving me a look like, what of it? And I was like, well, you're stealing their leaves. And then this guy comes over. This is how they walk. They put their paws down like this, and then they just kind of like lean forward because their front paws are so much shorter. And so they just lean forward, and then they just kind of hop up together, kind of like bunnies. So he went over and said hi to the other one, and then the other one got up and came over here and was sitting next to the wallaby. And then the wallaby was like, whatever, I'll leave. And they started eating leaves. And it was cute. I was like, oh, hey. So there's this one and then the other one who took their spot. Like, oh my gosh. They kind of like, well, wallabies are like mini kangaroos and then quokkas are like mini that. But just look at it. Look at this is what they look like. And now you've seen a real one and a really cute version. And let me tell you, when I tell you that so many shops have little quokka plushies, but none of them have the proper proportions. Because look at them. Look at tiny head, big round body, right? Like tiny head, round body, right? And they'd be like, the head would be like this. And it's like, oh, is that a bear? It's like, no, it's supposed to be a quokka. Anyway, so I was very happy to be near a quokka. And there's that one over there. And this one here. And we were very, very pleased to be nearby the quokkas. We wanted to be there the whole time. I also found a big tree. They tore us away from the quokkas so that we could walk somewhere else. And so I saw the big tree. And then I finally saw a koala bear. Look at the bear. Look at the koala bear. Look at his nasty claws. Look at his nasty feet. They're scary. Koalas have 2 thumbs. They're creepy. And I don't like them. And everyone's all like, oh, don't you want to hold a koala? And I'm like, no. They're kind of cute, but then... No. Anyway, look at how cute he is. Look at how seepy he is. I'm like, look, he's so seepy. Look at this one. That one had a name like Butterbeer. I can't remember. But he looks like he sat in bleach accidentally. They got weird noses, man. I think koalas are one of the weirdest animals. Cute, but not cuddleable. Definitely not cuddleable. I wouldn't want to cuddle them either. Kind of in the same way that I wouldn't want to cuddle a pig, but some pigs are cute. You know, that's the vibe. But it's fluffy. You know? But claws are not friend-shaped on those things. They are not friend-shaped, and people just forget that. Oh yeah, we went into the little gift shop, and they had a womble. And I was like, oh my gosh, hold the womble. Look at how cute the womble. Look at the womble. And then I pointed to the tea towel that I wanted so I wouldn't forget. And I took photos of all this stuff because I was like, how cool is this? Because my mom and Terry were sitting over here in the Croc Arena waiting for the Croc show to start. And there was like a thing happening talking about the stuff they have at the zoo. Yeah, so this is Steve Irwin's zoo, basically. It's called the Australia Zoo, and Steve Irwin started it, and the Irwins still basically run it. Obviously, there's other shareholders and different people who work there, right? But it's hands down such a good place to go. They say it was better before COVID, but it was so good. Bean, you gotta go? Is it nap time? I mean, nap time. Sleep time? I believe it. I would believe it. Loki has to go. This is the Croc Arena. Sorry, the Crocaseum. I wanted to call it the Croc Arena. It's the Crocaseum. And you can see, too, the line of where the sun is and where the sun isn't. It's really funny. Nobody wanted to sit... Well, some people sat in the sun, but it's not a good idea to be in the sun. You gotta be up in the AMs is gross sounding. I'm sorry about that. Please get some sleep. And it's good to see you again. I gotta actually get up to Denver. I actually am coming up to Denver. Oh, hey, do you want to come to Landsgiving during Thanksgiving? It happens in the weekend of Thanksgiving. So, send me a message. I'll connect you to my Denver 8 friends and you can come back. It's the same. It's the weekend of Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and yeah. Before or after of. Correct. So yeah, DJ Danville, yes, the Crocaseum. Look it. So it was really cool. You're in town? Cool. Okay. In the very least, even if you don't come, I'll stop by. Even though it's on the other side of town. It's whatever. We'll manage. Here's me with mom and our Aussie mom, because she's cute. And they actually took a photo. I always take a photo before people know that I'm taking a photo to just kind of prep them for it. It's great. And then this started, and then you could see them up on the screen, but they were out here, which is really cool. And they had a cool bird which flew around. Look! Ah! I love birds so much. They're so cool. And then they brought in the crocodile. I mean, they did a lot of stuff. I didn't realize I took this picture. Oh, that's such a good photo. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I didn't know. Ah! If you want to stay here too, let me know, because I know that place gets a little crowded. They usually, Rob usually knows when I come that I need a place to stay, so they usually put a room in, a spot in my room for me. But I will see what the situation is like, and I might let you know, because it is a little crowded. However, what I do love is not having to get up and get dressed and go somewhere. I love just being able to get up, crawl downstairs, get my tea, sit down, and start gaming and raising money. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. And also just because of how awful this year has been, I don't know how much we're going to raise for Extra Life, but we'll try anyway. Anyway, so this is a great photo. I didn't realize I took this photo. Yeah, there's a big guy, and he comes out of the water, and the guy's like, here, have it. He throws it, and he misses, which was wild. So then they tried to get him to move, and he didn't want to move, so it was an interesting thing. Yeah, DJ, I went to Australia. I just got back, so I'm trying to, like, go through all the photos. There's a lot. We're just on day 2. Gotta have game times too. I know, but you gotta sleep. Okay, go sleep. Thank you for everything. I'm glad you're back. Safe travels and all this stuff. I gotta catch up with you. We gotta catch up. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. These are dingoes. They look like normal dogs, and they kind of are, but they're not. They change color sometimes. And that's a Tasmanian devil. And he knew it was food time, so he was doing the runaround dance. And the videos are just not in this, which is kind of sad, because they're somewhere in here. Or maybe they're like all the way at the bottom or something. But I have a video of the dingo going like zoomies, like mad zoomies. And it's so cute. Let's see if I can't find it. Here it is.
That's amazing, and they're not. Hi, buddy. Hi.
Oh.
Okay. There he goes.
Okay, hold on. Can I not grab the top of the screen? Why not be movable? Zoom to fill. No. Aha. There you go. Now you can watch it. So he knew it was food time soon.
That's amazing, and they're not. Hi, buddy. Hi.
I hear them. I hear them.
You got the zoomies. He's got the zoomies here.
The light shining through his ears.
That is so sweet.
So he was running around. Look how cute. And then
on a threat to his territory. And the wild, obviously, I wouldn't be a threat to his territory, but the unfortunately, Casper's neighbour is a predator. He's a carnivore, and he'd love nothing more than to just eat meat.
Which is just a great statement as he's holding some meat that he's gonna hand to crocodile. Anyway, so he started running around. He had the zoomies, and then I saw a cassowary or a rhea. I can't remember which one it was. I think that's a rhea. It's a kiwi, but not. It's an emu, but not. There's a koala bear. Where's his face? This is this is the face of he's just like me for real. Hi, River. Yeah, so yeah, so lots of photos. We will continue. But I'm still fighting a cold, so here we go. Koala bears. He's just this one is my favorite. This was my favorite. He's just holding on. He's just holding on. And my friend Terry, our Australian mom, she goes, "Yeah, but how much can a koala bear?" And I went, "Ah, not much apparently." Because look at him. He's barely hanging on. And his fingers are split in a weird and creepy way. And he's just hanging in there. Just barely. And this guy, they're all just sleeping. Man, I wish I could be a koala. I didn't even go that way. State-of-the-art koala care. Look at that. Koalas are cute until you see them in person. You're like, oh man. I love seeing people's faces here as they take more photos. This guy just staring intently at it like, I get you, buddy. I get you. River, I did not catch your note the other day. I'm so sorry. Yesterday was kind of an intense, fun day, and I was not really reading chat very well, so I'm sorry. And these people are kind of staring at him, and the kid's like, yeah. And this guy's just like, don't remind me, George. Don't remind me. Oh, this is the male version of that other bird. You were let go? Wait a second. What? Oh no. Shock. Hi, Toast. Yeah, well, the people are just kind of behind the animals. So, you're without work again. That's rough. Hey, it's you. It's you. I know you. Yes, Faith. I know you. I know both of you. Yeah. Oh gosh, River, that's really rough. Was it related to the government shutdown, or is it just because the company was just made other decisions? Because either way, that sucks, and I'm really sorry to hear it. Corporate greed, great, love that for you. Just love that. I'm sorry. There are so many times that I'm just like, I feel stressed because it's like, oh, I've got 3 jobs and I'm making it work, and people are like, oh, why don't you just get a better job so you don't have to work 3 jobs, or just like a full-time job so you don't have to work 3 part-time jobs. And I'm just like, it works out better this way, because if I lose one, then I don't lose all of it, which I feel like is a big worry for me sometimes. Not that I am going to get fired because I'm bad at my job, but just because of the same. Sometimes it's just like, oh, well, we have no more use for you. Even though I work in like essential work, like food service, it's like there's always a need for that. But anyway, 3 contractors from Mexico are cheaper than 1 U.S. employee. Yep. Yeah. That is rough, though. I'm so sorry. I will be praying for you to find a good Band-Aid to hold together, because I know that sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I'm sorry. That's really rough. Yeah, no, I did not see that, and I'm sorry I did not see that. there was just kind of, there was a, I don't know, I don't have an excuse. I just didn't see it. Sorry. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, look at the toast hug. You can get a toast hug. Little, I don't want to pin the message. I mean, maybe I do. But yeah, okay. Definitely will be praying. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, doing the unemployment thing, but it's like I hate it too because there's just so much paperwork, and then you just have to like fight people for help. You have to fight people for help, and then the government's shut down. So it's like the people who you're fighting with are already peeved as it is, and then yeah, working from home would be ideal, but it's not always. I don't know. It's just so hard to. People see as a work from home job as a lazy job now, because so many people are like, well, I don't want to, and it's like, ooh, but fight the gut. Wait, don't take that out of context. I mean, do, but don't take that out of context. It's not what I said. I mean, it is what I said, but it's. I'll mean that later. We'll talk about that later. No. You want to see some cool birds? Birds from Australia? Look at this. Out of context is the best kind of context. Because there isn't any. Yay! Oh, no. So you just... Okay, well... One thing at a time, hey? Bird. Oh, hey. I know you guys have seen mini M&Ms, but have you ever seen mini fruit nippers? Those are runts. Kind of. It's banana runts, and then the blueberries, and then these three things. Okay, no, they have the hearts. They got the candy hearts, but it's the wrong color. They're orange. Right? Okay, so we can do some laugh therapy here. I haven't seen them by that name, but it's just different, right? Like, what are these? What are they? I don't know. That's like a weird, like they've been roughed up a bit. They're not the round lime ones, right? This one's my favorite though. Tingle fruit. Tingle fruit. What is it? I don't know. They kind of look like Sprees, but Smarties. They look like Smarties, but Spree size. Called Tingle fruit, and I think they're sour. That makes sense. Like it would be like a Smarties thing, or maybe they fizz. I don't know. I didn't buy any, and I also don't know what those are. But they weren't as interesting as Tingle fruit, I guarantee you. And my favorite, spearmint discs. And these, okay. So you know, like Jimmy's, or like little sprinkles, just like rainbow sprinkle. Like what else would you call these? Rainbow sprinkles, right? Or if you put them on like a flat, like if you make you just use the white ones on dark chocolate and make it little flat circle discs. Those are called nonpareils. They call them hundreds and thousands. That's so cute. Hundreds and thousands. There's how many other? Hundreds of thousands of them. And just how many sprinkles do you want? This many. Just indiscriminate amounts of sprinkles. They're sprinkles, but hundreds of thousands of this, like it's those little dots. And milk chocolate raspberries, so they're covered. Oh, it was so cool. And then I saw these Wildlife Warrior caps. Thought those are cool. $32 though, kind of a bit much for a hat, I felt. And then I saw this bird, and they're called a noisy miner, and they are very noisy. Maybe they turn you into a middle-aged man that thinks he's a fairy. Maybe. I don't know. Should have tried a little of each so you could tease us with alien candies. I really was tempted to, but from the same exact shop, we got little like ice cream pops. That was a cool flower. That's a crocodile. That's another crocodile. This was Spot the Lizard, guys. A little less than 21. Yeah. Noisy minor or noisy minor? They're noisy minor. Because they yearn for the mines. There's the lizard. Thanks for playing the game. That was a cool thing that Steve Irwin carved. Because he loves crocodiles. Look at that. That's him working on it. Because he loves crocodiles. And then here's Cameron the crocodile. It's a big crocodile that might actually exist. It was very large. I did not like how large it was. Okay, we have now reached the end of the photos that had loaded in. So now I'm gonna zoom back up. We're still just on day 2, guys. Hang in there. Right. So that's me next to the crocodile. That looks like it's fake, but it's real. That's Mom. And that's Muffins next to the real thing. I said, hey, look, that's real. Wait, And then we got to see Irwin's turtles. Now, those of you who are too young to know this, I was not alive at the time, but it was during my generation that Steve Irwin found a species of turtle that had not been discovered yet, and it was very rare and going extinct, and he saved it. And they're very cool. So they basically have his turtles, and they're in the zoo, and it's super cool. And there's the name, and look at his cute baby, his son, and then the turtle. Look how cute they are. This is so cool. And that Irwin's turtles. And that's one right there. There it is. Those are not Irwin's turtles. Those are tortoises. That's a Komodo dragon. That's another Komodo dragon. They're dinosaurs. Those are skinks. So if you ever want to insult somebody and call them a red-tailed skink or something, like that's an animal. It's not an insult. There's lots of them. And then this was a place that was one of the first habitats they built, and it's supposed to hold echidnas, but we didn't see any of them. Then there were some otters, and I took a picture with the baby Irwin. It was a life-size cutout, so I took a photo with him. I thought that was fun. The plants there are wild. They have a little animal hospital, a wildlife hospital, where people actually bring animals in, and the animals will get like hit by a car, or there's a dog attack or something, and they'll name them different things. Beans, the koala's named Beans. Pandora, hit by car, but like the opossum, burns to feet, burns to tail. So they had a cute little space for them. And then you'd be like, hi, I'm a koala, my name is this, and why am I here? Possible dog attack, right? And then in the little cages they'd have the temperament, nervous. This is Beans. This is Beans. He's here because of a dog attack. A sad boy. But and then they do little checks on things, and then this look it. A baby platypus is called a puggle, and a baby echidna is I don't know what they're called, but they're two cute little ones. Look at how cute that is. I missed half of the context. Oh no, the context. I thought koala was named Hit by Car. Yeah, well, but look at how cute, right? Like, So there was all sorts of cute stuff. So one of the ladies brought over a tiny, like, she brought over whatever she was working on, and I forget what it was because I was like, oh my gosh, it's a baby. And I didn't take a picture because I didn't want to be like, you know, I wanted to like too close to a fire, and they named me Bernie. Ouch. That was a cool. So we're driving around away from the Australia Zoo, getting back into Brisbane, and we see these really cool mountain hill things, and I'm like, what are they? What are they made out of? And I see, oh my gosh, they're made of basalt. That's basalt, or as they say in that area, basalt. And then we go up to that's a cool Jacaranda. More Jacaranda photos. We go up to the top of this hill, and we find out they're called the Glasshouse Mountains. Well, we knew because we had a local telling us everything, but basically that's what would have happened anyway. And we're like, look at the glass house. And apparently because olden time glass houses kind of looked like that shape. And then look at the cool birds they've got. They got butcher birds and kookaburras, and then there's magpie, Australian magpies. They're different. They're different. And then there's look at kangaroo. No, that's actually a black striped wallaby. It's a wallaby. A carbet python, blue tiger butterfly, and a yellow-footed Antechinus. I don't even know, but it's a meep. So I didn't take a whole lot of pictures of the whole area, but look we have Kohl's and Kmart still in Australia. A blue-footed meep. That's right, a blue-footed meep. So it was a cute little lookout, and then we saw some water, and then more bin chickens. Everything's a something. Like the ibis are a bin chicken, and then they have these turkeys they call bush turkeys, and it's like, what kind of turkey are they? It's a bush turkey. And then they had like other things that were like a bush pigeon, which is like a really fancy looking pigeon, and I didn't get to see one until we were in Sydney, and they're like, oh yeah, that's a bush pigeon. I'm like, oh, it's like a pigeon but differently colored, like, because normal pigeons are like gray, right? And they're still pretty, right? They got like the iridescent colors like underneath the gray and stuff, but like the normal, like when you look at a pigeon, you see a pigeon in a dingy city, you're like, oh, that's a pigeon, like that's a normal pigeon. They're like, oh, there's pigeons, those are menaces. The bush pigeon though, no, that is a rare delight to see, because look at how beautifully refined they are, and it's like, yeah, he got a mohawk, like what's up with his style? So it was kind of cute. And then our hostess took us to the Bee Gees Way, which is basically a street with like history of the Bee Gees and cool stuff like this. Like, I would love people to bring this kind of jacket back. I'm just waiting for that to come back. Or like that kind of collar. Like, you don't need the frills. I don't need the frills. Don't need it. I don't need this pattern either. I just want the high collar and the buttons. And then the big flaps and the long, you know. I want that. I think that would look cool. So, and then there was, I thought really funny, Subway snacks, $2.50. That was fantastic. What are they, right? I think I know Subway, and then I go to Australia. Obviously, I don't. Thankfully, you stayed alive as you passed through. They actually played the song too. Like, there's speakers playing all their music, and we got to stay alive, and I was like, It was great. It was great. So you think you know Subway, right? And then new snack, Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread Toasty. Those are great words. I understand all of them. What? A toasty, you just toast it, right? This is college food. This is college. Somebody took garlic bread and then put cheese on it and melted it in the microwave or in a toaster oven and said, you know what? We're going to sell it as a snack at Subway. Meatball matzo pot. Okay, meatball, mozzarella, pot. Meatball matzo pot. I You could have opened a restaurant. You could have called anything. Look, ham, cheese, and tomato jaffle. What is any of this, right? And then okay, 2 times cookie and Chipotle quesadilla. What are they just mashing things together? They're just mashing things together, dude. What's a jaffle? What's a matzo pot? I get a quesadilla, but why would you make it Chipotle? And just college food. That's college food. Sold now exclusively at Subway. Welcome to the roundabouts in Australia, where all the bin chickens are sitting in the tree. And it's the Korea Veterans Place, and the street you're turning onto is Humpy Blong Esplanade. What a great world we live in, right? Oh, this was Anzac Place, by the way. Very cool area. Love Humpy Blong. Great, you know more than I do. Oh, Commander Panda. Tell me more. I know nothing. Help. So then we went to some kind of Anzac area. A jaffle is a toasted sandwich made using a jaffle iron. Of course. It's a panini. What's a panini? Well, it's a thing you press with a panini press. It's a sandwich. Toasted. It's a toasted sandwich. But this time using a flat iron for your hair. I hate it here. I hate it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so we went to go have dinner at this cool place. This is the Kingdom of Italy flag from World War II. That was cool to see. They had lots of war memorial stuff. This is a memorial to the dogs. I took lots of photos of stuff like this because I thought that was interesting. The RAAF Black Cats. I want to read that book. There was a camel. There's a big chandelier. That was the burger I ate. It was delicious. My fit check for that next day. Day 3. Here we go. We're finally there. Oh no, an entrepreneurizing Australian from Bondi, Dr. Ernest E. Smithers, invented and patented jaffle iron in 1949, making it easy for people to make grilled sandwiches by pressing them between 2 metal surfaces over a heated fire. The rest is sandwich history, he said off the top of his head and not copying Wikipedia. I see. Nobody uses the term war camel anymore, and it's a right shame. That's a right shame they do. Unbelievable. Well, we took the train the next day because Muffins was not feeling so great, and we decided to take some fun. Or was this the day that she was not feeling great? Yeah, she wasn't feeling great today. So we took the train, and we took the train into town because she was not feeling so great. So we changed our whole plans. We were gonna go up to the Rainbow Coast and Sunshine Beach and all that fun stuff. Dip in the water, and that I was not looking forward to it. But then Muffins got sick and we changed our plans, and I was like, yes. And I felt bad because Muffins was sick, but I was like, yes, no ocean. And so we went on a train instead. I was very happy going through the train gates because I thought it was super cool and it reminded me of Japan. And then we saw this, and this is the Anzac Memorial. And Anzac is kind of really important in Australia and New Zealand. These guys were really, really loud, and these escalators were lit up like a club, so I took a photo. This is the plaza, dedicated 1930. And it's got a flame. You can't see it, but you could kind of... No, you really can't see it, but it was like warbling the air because it was so hot. So you're there's a flame there. You know, so that's the thing. DJ, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you as always. Take care of yourself. If you hide behind your war camel to avoid detection by the enemy, is that camouflage? All right, thanks everybody for watching. It's been a great stream. It's good to see you guys. I'm so happy you've been here. Right after that joke, I've realized it's now time for me to leave because there's nothing better that could be said today. So I will now run the credits and we'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye. Hey, hey, hey. If it's spotted, it'll blow your cover. It's okay, but you aren't spotted. That is so funny. I can't. What am I? How am I supposed to follow that up, Shock? How am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do? Unbelievable. Well, anyway, some more photos. So there was a flame in here. It was good. This was the central station that we came out of. It was really pretty on the outside. Again, architecture, hello. That was cool. This was even cooler. They had like all these statues everywhere, and I loved the concerned but gentle and calm look on her face. It was probably the coolest thing I've seen since I was in the Louvre. And this too. This is a newer memorial. So the young people who fought in recent wars, and then their Aboriginal ancestry behind them, urging them on, kind of thing. And then behind this whole thing, all of these names. A baobab tree. There was a flame in here. It was good. I know. I tasted the flame. It was great. It's not a baobab tree, but it's a fat tree, and I don't know what kind of tree it is, and it's cool. And then there was a horse. And then there's Anzac Square. Queen's Plaza. I'm just taking pictures of the areas that I was there because I was like, what is this? And then there's this place they called the Arcade. And I was like, oh, I love games. The memorials from multiple wars? Correct. Suspiciously like a Deku tree? I know, right? I was like, and what video game are we in right now? Hello? Yeah, so Anzac stands for the Australia, New Zealand Allied Corps? Army Corps? Armed Corps? Something to that extent, and I'm not the expert in it. But it is really cool, and so it's an alliance between Australia and New Zealand. Army Corps. Thank you. I knew someone would correct me. I'm like, it's the Army. Maybe that's not right. Thank you. Yeah, so Army Corps. And it's cool because they take it very seriously, and they're like, it sucks because nowadays it really doesn't, like, it depends on what family you're from. But I grew up in a very Army brat family, at least on my mom's side. And so there's just a lot of respect put on the Marines and the Army and West Point graduates and, people who went to war college and did this. And so it's like, you put some respect on their name, you pay attention when you walk past those halls, kind of thing. And I feel like there's that kind of understanding on Australia and New Zealand. When you mention Anzac, it's like everyone's quiet right now because we're walking through. So it just kind of reminds me of kind of just how I was brought up with the respect, and so that was kind of cool. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like any army should have that kind of respect. Some leaders have abused their armies. And so there's shame attached to them. And in certain countries, like I just came back from Japan, they don't really go, oh yeah, Japanese army, yes. Like nowadays their army is like search and rescue and you know, like military training, yes, and things like that. But like their past, they're not proud of. They're ashamed of a lot of the stuff in their past. And I feel like there should be a good amount of shame in all of our past, but there's too recent and too fresh and too new. And so there's war memorials and stuff like that, but it's for them when they were the victims in like the bombings, and then the rest of it's like, yeah, we weren't so great. And so it's interesting. It's really interesting to kind of see that. And also another thing that I noticed, which is just an observation, it's not I can't pass any judgment on this, but in my head, I'm like, yes, we went east to Australia because we did. We're in the same kind of time zones as Japan and Korea and some of Russia and China. And so here we are you know, New Zealand's a little bit further this way too, but like we're in the Eastern world. But then when you talk about Eastern medicine or Eastern philosophies, Australia's not counted in that because culturally they're too close to Britain to be counted as that, even though they are in the East. And so I'm like, my brain of like, no, but it's on the left side. It's like when I realized Colorado wasn't considered part of the Midwest. We're literally in the Midwest side of America. West, mid, like that Midwest, that's us. No, to my chagrin, Midwest is the eastern side of America. And now I'm upset. So Japan is east of us, Australia is west of us, and vice versa, but who's counting? Yeah, I know, yeah, it's an observation because again, I don't live there. Can't pass judgment on it. But it was just really fascinating to kind of hear people be like, oh, you know, in an Eastern culture. And I'm like, are we not? I went east to get here from where I was. And America's considered Western. Because you just said, you know, us in the Western. I'm like, no. I went east to get here. So, yeah. Yeah, but Commonwealth takes precedence, but not when you ask, like, about, like, they're like, oh, yeah, Commonwealth. And they're like, yeah, no. I went west to get to Japan, so that's a choice. Going west to get to Japan is, oh no, that's the way you go. I have my ways. Yeah. We all went west to go there. So now we are the east. I was having them backwards. But I still, in my mind, I'm like, no, I went to this side of the world. Now I'm in the east side of the world. None of it matters. Anyway, so also they said we're going to go to the arcade, and I was so excited to go to an arcade. And then it was a shopping arcade, and I was like, I don't know what an arcade is. It's a mall. It's a mall. But they're pretty. They're really pretty malls. Like, oh, this was a tea shop, and I took pictures of those. Those are really cute. Tea cozies. And this was a cool wall that I saw. There's like panels, butterflies, something in between. How cool is that? Northwest and get to Japan after a while. You could just go in any direction and keep turning that direction and gradually and eventually get everywhere. And then this was a nice little, outside of the mall, there's like a little walking area. And then there was like, you can't ski or skateboard or run on a treadmill. Yeah, anyway, so the arcade, I was like, that's really disappointing. It wasn't a game store. I took photos of random things on sale. And then we went to the City Hall. I had to take a photo with the lion because I wanted to make the face he was making. The ceiling of the City Hall was really cool. Yeah, nanoblocks. Okay, and then nanoblocks in Japan, like 500 yen for a little pack like that, right? 500 yen in the American dollars, like $3.5, $4. Aslan, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so nanoblocks really kind of cool when I was in Japan because I'm like, oh my gosh, these are so interesting and they're niche and I've never seen these before and they're cheap. Yeah, I'll try them. And then we go to Australia, they're $16 for a tiny little. No. Anyway, ceiling of City Hall with an organ. And it was like set up for a banquet and stuff, and that was really cool. And I'm such a millennial, so I take photos like this still. Brisbane City Hall from the ground up, how they built it, the ceiling of it again, and the cool marble staircases. And then we went to this cute little tea shop. Do you have a Daiso anywhere near you? Up in Denver, they built one. Yes. Oh, also, they have Daiso in Australia, which was so funny because in Japanese, it's called Daiso. And in Korean, they're called Daiso. And in Australia, they call it Daiso. Daiso. So nanoblock sets really cheap. I sure hope they are, because at this point it's all just yeah. And they're like, oh, we just get it to the Daiso, and I'm like, the what? They're like, oh, it's a great store, and they start explaining it to me, and I'm like, that sounds like a Daiso. And then we see it, it's like, that's a Daiso. Daiso. Daiso are for gambling. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And so then directly connected to the City Hall was this cute little tea shop, tea and crumpet shop. And Terry was like, oh my gosh, I used to come here for treats with my parents when we get home from a trip or something. We'd stop into this cute little spot. And I took photos of the twirling treats and the tea and how posh the tea all looked. And I got a slice of, they call it vanilla slice, and it's just custard with some kind of crusty something. It was kind of not the best. It kind of tasted day old. And then we went to a museum, and this is the wall of the museum that, or it was like the window of the museum that kind of had this like filter plastered on top of it. So it wasn't stained glass, but it looked like stained glass, and that was really cool. And there was all sorts of fun exhibits and toys and collections of stuff. And I didn't take photos of everything, but I did take a photo of this. And a lot of you guys know it's kind of spelled like Daisy. Yeah, I get it. But also, they didn't even ask, it feels like. They didn't even ask. They were like, oh, cool. A Japanese company from where? Japan? How did they say it? Nah, never mind. We're just going to say it the way we do. So a lot of you guys know about my grandparents. Not all of you do, but my grandmother collected eggs like this. Some were like this, kind of like flat ones that kind of opened. Some opened like this and had little treasures in them. Some had little stands, and some were carved into. You could see through them. Some had lights in them. This is crystal. That one's wood. So many. And this was a beautiful collection of eggs that someone had collected throughout the years, and it reminded me a lot of my grandmother's collection. And I wanted to inherit her collection, but my mom was like, no, we're going to split it across the kids. So I get to share the collection with other people, which is great because I have a lot. Yes, this is a Daruma egg. Yes. Good eye. Yeah. And both eyes are filled in. How fun. So, then they had a cute little shop which had these shirts that said Brisbane, and then had the jacaranda leaves all over, the petals all over their car, which I thought was really cute, but it wasn't worth $50, so I was tired. I'm still happy, but tired. I took a photo with the cool windows again, which I thought was nice. And then the town hall again. Me in the town hall. Me with a kangaroo statue. And I was like, Bud, what are you looking at? I don't know what you're looking at. What is he looking at? I don't know. And I was like, Mom, just taking a picture with the other kangaroo. And I'm like, okay, all right, here we are. Taking pictures of the kangaroo. There was a beautiful church on the other side of the road, which is really cool. And then when you look at it meshed in, it's just so cool. Like, look at, like, blue sky. And then very modern, red, cool architecture. And oh, yes, look at it. I love it. Your tired face was your reaction to the shirt price? Might have been. I was just tired. Just look at that. I'm such a millennial. Oh my gosh, I'm such a millennial. Look at the shot angle of this. I just can't get over it. Another really cute church just on the other side of that. I'm taking another photo of me because apparently I don't take enough. How is this building held up? By 2 poles on that thing. I don't know. Is it appalling that... Sorry. More jacarandas. Kind of Queenslander looking old building. And another cool combination of the central station with all of the cool new buildings. Yeah. You're a young millennial, but we'll still claim you. You're older than turtles? I'm sorry, you're older than what? And I am a young millennial, but I am, in fact, still a solid millennial. As far as millennials go. I'm not a zillennial like muffins, but... And I'm not a geriatric millennial either. Oh, you're older than when Steve Irwin discovered the turtles. You're not older than them. They existed before you. But yes. Oh, so you're older than my older sister. Hey, let's go. This, I don't know what that means, but that's cool. More blue sky. More building. Map. I like Metro maps. Yes, my older sister is turtle aged. Yeah. And then I took a picture of the little beep beeps that you can go through, which is so cool. You just tap on your normal card. You don't have to get a cool IC card. I mean, although getting an IC card in Japan is really cool. It's like, oh, I have to buy the card that you use in here just so I can use it here. And then when I get home, I can just not use it. And it's whatever. And then the lines, the train. Oh my gosh, I'm happy. There's a train. Yay! Mom's so tired of me. More train stuff. I took a picture of this because I thought it was cool. And then I saw what it said and I was like, oh yeah, let's go. And then I thought it was cool. And then this was a cool picture of, I don't know what kind of animal that is because we're in Australia and I don't know what anything is, but they're burrowing and they're cool. Is it a rabbit? I don't know. She was slightly less excited. Was she? Yeah, I guess. Just slightly less. She does seem a little interested in something, but yeah, no, she just only slightly less excited. And then we went to this cute little bakery called Brumby's. Brumby's! I'm in Australia! DMR! Hi! It's so good to see you! I'm sharing about my trip to Australia via slideshow. Yeah, kind of reverse snails, but that's just like cute little design of what they kind of look like. I don't know what they are though, but there's a lot of animals that I don't know what they are, and so anyway, we went to Brumby's. I have a better photo somewhere in here. Maybe this is the best one. That's a leaf, but a bug. That's a little Tic Tac bug. That's a bug on this table. And we were like, look at the bug. And Terry was like, aw, what kind of bug is it? Oh, it's just a normal little blah, blah, blah. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, we don't have those there in America. So, I mean, or maybe we do somewhere and I just don't have them because I live in a place that doesn't have bugs. And we were like, oh my gosh, look at the cute little green bug. That was everywhere. And then I had this. This is a pink lamington. And a lamington has a history because of Duke Lamington. And so they're named after him. And how they came about is kind of maybe sort of agreed upon, but not really agreed upon part of history. And then the pink lamington is like raspberry flavored, and it was quite delicious. Their adorbs are probably venomous. Thousands of things in Australia are actually. And this is cute because it said, we must go on adventures to know where we belong. And I was like, that's really cute. And my mom was like, that's not correct. And I was like, okay, Mom. Oh, I took a picture of this book because I wanted to read it. For some reason, it looked interesting. And then that was my fit check from the next day. This is the neighborhood we were staying in. This is where our friend Terry lives. She's very cute. And we went searching for Queenslanders. And now Brisbane is in the state of Australia called Queensland. It's the northern easternmost part of Australia, but it's just barely in Queensland, but it's in Queensland nonetheless. And so a lot of the quintessential Australian houses that you would see in media, they're Queenslanders. They have this cute little porch, usually double-deckered, and the trellises and the railings and all the stuff. That's not a Queenslander. That's kind of not, but no. And then look at that. That's a cool roof. That's cute. Look at that. New and improved kind of version. A proper Queenslander is all wood, though. And there's some that are renovated, some that are not as much. And I just kind of started taking pictures of anything that I thought was a Queenslander. Look at that horse statue. What? Those poor people, the roof melted. Hold on. Hold on. This one. The roof melted. Yeah, they used to have a spire, and then I went. Before that, oh, this one. That's even better. It is pretty hot in Australia, that's for sure. That's funny. Yeah, so I'm just trying to take pictures of stuff. There's a fish and chips shop, horse statue, ocean. And then I saw this and I thought, what a cool place to take photos. So we took lots of photos. I don't have those photos. This was a part of this tree. This was a part of not that tree. It gave me a cut on my hand. That's a gum tree, I'm pretty sure. And then that you can see over there, land. And then this was such a, I love photos like this because I'm like, what did I take the photo of? Was it the Woolworths? Was it this or was it this? No, it was the Under the Sea Putt and Play. And I was like, look at this place. But there's just so much happening in the photo that I absolutely love it. Redcliffe area. We were in the Redcliffe area. It was quite nice. I had boba tea along with muffins while Mom was shopping for flip-flops. Flip-flops, which they call thongs. We call flip-flops. With arch support. So these are flip-flops with arch support, and it was quite interesting. And we were all gangster about it. And then we took a photo, being smiling and stuff. And then I really, 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 really wanted one of these. And so I got one of them. Then we went around in this market and shopped and stuff. And this is Muffin's wearing my jacket again because she's allergic to the sun. And then my mother sees a child. Moms don't talk to other moms' children. Challenge. Impossible. My mom sees a child and starts going, oh, hi there. Oh, hi. You can see her hand there. She's going this. That's how you say hi to babies because that's easier than this. The motor control for this is so difficult. This is how you say hi to babies because they can do this back to you, okay? Just so you know. So she goes, towards the baby and the baby's like, oh. And so then she's talking to them. So I'm like, of course she is. So I take a photo of my mom talking to random strangers in another country, as she do, you know? So that was fun. And then this place, long chips. These are fries, right? These are fries. They're gluten-free fries. And you could like put all sorts of stuff on them. Like, how fun. But it's long chips. And we, like real Americans that live in America and stay on the internet, Muffins and I both go, French fries the long way. The long way. And we're like, this French fries the long way. These guys in the photo, these guys back here, they start laughing. It was good. It was so good. Anyway, strangers are friends you haven't talked to, the little kids of. I'm so glad that you are friends with, you think the way my mom does, because we need people like you to think the way my mom does. I also feel so bad for this dog. This dog's just walking around in the hot sun on the hot pavement with no long chips to eat. So, what on earth? How do you say we're going to need you to start working construction because bills be stacking to babies? I don't know that in sign language, I'll be honest. In what context is this? You should have got long potatoes in Japan so you could have all the long fries. I did get long potatoes in Japan. We got the long curly tornado potatoes. We did not get long chips in Brisbane. So it was a little different. So to the babies. That's good, Faith. That's good. Give them a hammer. Say, go at it. It'll be fun. Anyway, so the long way, that was funny. Long chips. I took a photo of this because Muffins is engaged and there was a kissing booth. And I was like, where's your husband? Right there. And then I saw I didn't see this. That's a mannequin. That's not a real person. I think. I'm pretty sure. But I saw this. And I went, oh, okay. I just went, 15 hours in a plane to escape America. And there's this guy making Texas barbecue. And I was like, okay, I guess I can't escape. So that was great. That I finally got one of these. It was different from the other one that I wanted, but I got this one instead, and it was still pretty tasty. Took a photo with my mom. Again, did the very classic take a photo before she realizes I'm taking a photo and then take a photo. Barbecue is universally yes, but somehow people are like, yeah, but Texas barbecue is a thing, and it is, but then they like go to a place and they get that barbecue there, and it's like, but why? Anyway, there's no escaping Texas. Ugh. I took another photo, many photos, lots of photos. There was a cool pier, the ocean. I'm glad I'm not there. Bush turkeys, brush turkey. They call them bush turkeys, but they're brush turkey. Apparently, I'm learning that now. They are nesting nearby, and their nests are protected by state government law. So we're not allowed to remove them. Sorry. How fun. It's under surveillance. No diving, jumping, or climbing. No rough play. No alcohol. No animals. That was never followed. Cool flower. I took this photo because that right there is my sister. I know you can't tell because my phone camera really sucks, but that's my sister. And then I found her again. She went to go get fried chicken, and they asked if she wanted snow cheese, and she said, snow cheese? Yes. So she got Parmesan on her Korean fried chicken. What kind of phone is it? It is this phone. It's a Motorola. Oh, tomorrow night might be best for seeing the Northern Lights here. How exciting. Okay, good. Wait, so good when you came back when you did? If you stayed in... Oh, no, the bush turkeys would have been in danger? Aha. I get it now. I get it. That's very clever. Because American. Yes, but they don't look very tasty. Sorry. Ah, yes. This phone. Yeah, it's I'm so used to having Galaxies. I'm so used to having Samsung phones. So used to having it. Yeah, this one. But no, I got a Motorola because it was cheap and it still did all the stuff that I needed a phone to do. And I've been really wanting to stop taking photos with my phone because as nice as phone cameras have gotten, they still are not as good as I would like them to be. So instead of getting a phone camera that's kind of decent, I got a phone camera that sucks so that it forces me to actually get the kind of camera I want to get and actually probably get a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema or something so that I can actually start taking real photos. Because also, I don't take photos to have it be really good quality. I take photos to have the memories. If I take photos to have good quality, I'm going to be taking video. So that's why I want a proper video camera. They still might because they're too close to the Texas flag. I mean, it's right there. It's the worst thing. Anyway, that's me wanting some of her snow cheese and begging her for her snow cheese. And she said no. And I went, are you kidding me? That's a fly that kind of looks like that fly from that one movie, the animated movie about, I think it's called Racing Stripes. It was an interesting looking fly. That's a gum tree. That's a cool flower. Those are roots. Snow cheese. Yes, yeah. They asked her if she wanted snow cheese and she said yes. And then they put Parmesan cheese on her chicken. And I'm like, that's such a cute word for things. Anyway, so these are roots of a tree. This is a tree growing and then the roots are just like, give us water. They don't do that in Colorado. There's no water in the air, so they can't grow like that. And then Muffins had her hair up all cute, so I was like, hold on, let me take a photo of you. And then, I don't know what this photo was of. Maybe it's Hornybrook. Espache. I don't know what the endings of places are. Okay, maybe it was. Palm trees. These things don't exist. These are fake trees. They're real trees, but can you believe a tree looks like that? I don't. Can you believe a tree looks like that? I don't. Not a real tree. Fake tree. Let's look, what are those? What are those? Little hands saying, give me your money. Fake tree. Windblown trees. Oh, someone was parasailing. How cool is that? Someone had Todoroki on their gas cap, and I thought that was cool. And then these are the shells we found on the beach. And then we went to go pat the ocean. Esplanade is my guess. That would make a lot of sense. So we went to go pat the ocean. So Muffin's like, we gotta go pat the ocean. So we're like, okay, time to go pat the ocean. We didn't even bother taking our shoes off. Because if we take the shoes off, then we gotta take our socks off. And we take our socks off, then we're out there barefoot. And we're catching sand in between our toes and in our finger toenails and stuff. And then we gotta wash our feet. Ugh. So we're like, no. We're just going to walk on with our shoes. So we go out on the beach. We're like, go. Like, and then like so when the wave comes in, we can like pat the ocean and then run away before it can like get to our shoes, right? So we were successful in patting the ocean, but then our hands were dirty. So we're like, we got to go wash our hands. So we go, you can't see it quite in this picture, but over here, this kind of meets this here. And there's like a little rocky area that we could kind of sit on and put our hands into the water. And then Muffins told me, she was like, wash the hands. And I was like, okay, wash the hands. And I just laughed so hard because the way she said it was like, pat the ocean, wash the hands. We got pat the ocean and wash the hands. So this is her doing the wash the hands motion because that's how you wash your hands is you put your hands, you pat the ocean, now you have sand on your hands. wash the hands. Wash the hands. So that's the motion, the wash the hands motion. Then the next day, Terry took us to the airport and sent us on our way. Thankfully, Muffins was feeling better by this time. But unfortunately, around this time, Mom started feeling sick. Or maybe it wasn't. Yeah, it was. I think it was around this time. But as we get to the airport, this nasty storm cell swoops into Brisbane and puts a lot of people out of power because there's this nasty storm, and everyone was kind of crowded around this area for the hours that it lasted. The flights were delayed hours. Everything was put back. Everything was put back. And we were on our way to Auckland. So it's a long flight and it's 2 hours time zone difference. So we were going to land the next morning at like midnight, but then still make it through TSA security and customs before, not TSA, but through security and customs before they shut it down for the night. But because of the delays, they were like, yeah, no, you're either going to be waiting here in this airport or you're going to be waiting there in that airport. So I guess you're doing this. Have fun. So yeah, we went to New Zealand too. It was quite the blast. So we stayed in a little area and there was this really cute guy the other way. He's not sitting this way because I took a photo the wrong direction. But we sat down and we had some food and I had a burger. It was really yummy. And then they put this on the sandwich and they call it Rocket, and it doesn't taste like Rocket. But that's what the sinks look like. You wash the hands, turn to soap, wash the hands, dry the hands, all in the same sink, which is really cool. He's not in this picture, but he was super cute. And we did this thing. Okay, enhance. And then suddenly like paste Arlo in there. No, but he was super cute and he looked like really Australian. And I was like, oh my gosh, what if this guy is like, what if he's cute and stuff, and what if he's into me? And so like I like steal a glance or whatever, and then the second time I'm stealing a glance, I see him looking at me and I'm like, oh, like he caught me looking, oh no. And then like I look again and he's looking at me, but like much time later. It wasn't like he was still looking at me since the first time. Like he had obviously like looked again. He had looked again, and I was like, oh my gosh, he thinks I'm cute. And I'm freaking out, and the Muffins and Mom are of course like, duh, of course he thinks you're cute. You're cute. And I was like, okay. And so that was kind of fun. And no words were exchanged. It was just this guy in the airport thinks I'm cute, which is so funny because that's like one of my stupid, dumb fantasies. I told Muffins this. I have these two things. No, he was not staring the whole time because it was like after the meal had ended, I like glanced back over and he was checking me out. And I was like, tuck, right? Like, so yeah, no, it was cute. The language barrier, yeah, we couldn't have. So no, here's the thing. I told Muffins this. I had this kind of unrealistic desire to fall in love with and marry a childhood friend, but I have no childhood friends who are eligible, so that's not gonna happen. And then I have another like desire to like fall in love with someone I meet while traveling. Like I'm traveling abroad and we pass by in the airport and it's like this like, oh, like they would have been really nice to talk to, and then it turns out you're actually at the same gate, you're actually on the same plane, you're actually on the same in the same row, and you're like not next to each other, but like he's over there, and you're just kind of like, what's he having for his meal, or what's, it's like, I don't know why I think that's so cool, but like, but I've always kind of like wanted to fall in love while traveling. It's some stupid fantasy of mine. So I'm over there like, oh my gosh, that guy's actually looking at me, and yeah, I look so cute. That's right. Yes, no, exactly. Like, You need to meet someone while traveling, then realizing you were in kindergarten together. Except I was homeschooled. So, the childhood friend desire comes from having known him a long time. So there's this like, I need to have known him for like 5+ years before, not before we get into a relationship, but that like before we get married or something like that. Like I just want like a long time to know somebody, because I don't like the idea of only knowing somebody for 2 years and then getting married. I think that's foolish. And a lot of people are like, oh, you've been dating for 3 years? Well, why aren't you married yet? Like, where's the ring? You know, it's like, let people have some time. Like, I think life is too long to make a decision based off of 2 years of knowledge. Unless you know. And then if you know, you know, and I'm not going to judge that. Like, you just know, right? Help homeschool. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I had this, like, wouldn't it be great? It's like when you're little and you're like, I want an older brother. And your parents are like, we can't do that for you. You're like, oh, can't you try? And they're like, we could adopt. But like, no, not physically possible. It's kind of like, oh, that has... The time for having a childhood friend to grow up into being a lover, that has passed. That is not a thing that could be a thing, right? Maybe a school friend that I knew in high school, but... Or in college, you know, like... There's just not really... There's always time travel. No, you're right. You're right. Anyway, so that was just kind of... I confided in Muffins that was one of the things. I was like... So, I'm so goofy. I'm like, you looked at me. So that was kind of fun. So, and then this whole storm is happening, and so we're kind of stuck in the airport. And then we finally get on plane. I'm tired. We've stayed up. This is Tulip. Tulip is a T-Rex. Tulip is a T-Rex pillow pet. I bought a T-Rex pillow pet for one of my good friends in Rocket League named Carrie Taz, and I hope he's doing well nowadays. I haven't heard from him in years, but Carrie really liked dinosaurs, and so I bought him a T-Rex pillow pet, even though they were out of... People don't make them anymore. So that was fun. But it was around this time that I felt like I feel now, that it was time to sleep. And so at this point in time, we will stop the storytelling before I get to New Zealand. I'm going to stop the story now. We'll get back to it later. But this way I know how far we got before... Sorry, I just read something and I was like, that doesn't make sense. No, it makes sense. I'm just kind of tired. Yeah. Next time I come back, I'll know where I left off, because I'll be like, oh yeah, New Zealand. Cool? Cool. All right. More to the story. Thanks for watching. You live in the future? That makes people tired? I'm trying to live in the present, honestly. And even that's pretty hard. So I'm taking suggestions for the name for my quokka. And if you guys want to take part in the fun storytelling in future streams, stick around. That's it. All right. Yeah, time zone future. This is true. I did a lot of time travel recently. I'm constantly moving forward in time. This is true. Just time zones they're just a construct, though. That's the thing. Everyone's all like, oh, you're in the future. And I love making jokes like that, but it's not that big of a deal. You're just moving around the planet. The sun's just on the other side of the planet. We put so much effort onto where the sun is and to know where the sun is, but it's not very... It's whatever. It's whatever. I don't care much about it. So, with that being said, yeah, so with the jet lag, you just sleep through it, and then you power through the next day. Like, you just sleep on the plane, you power through the next... I don't know. It's out that direction. For some reason, it didn't hit me that much. And I guess, I guess because I'm young. I'm guessing because I'm young. But, yeah. Cool. All right. I'm going to leave now because I have some other stuff I have to do before I go to sleep. And then I gotta go to sleep. So, but it's been fun. Thanks everybody for watching. Here are the credits that you saw earlier because of Shock's just absolutely amazing pun. And if you guys miss the future parts, I will definitely be putting them on YouTube. So don't worry about that. I'm trying to double post now so that things actually have a home where they're living. So we'll be able to load in stuff. So if you're like, oh, I missed a stream, recap for me. I can recap, but also you get the experience of me going through the, oh yeah, this, rather than the super fast, oh, well, we talked about this part of the trip and it was cool. Boring. Anyway, enjoy the credits yet again, and I will see you guys later. Okay, bye! Yeah.